Today, we are here to talk about one of my absolute favorite topics, the subconscious, and how it's running the show behind the scenes. So, I am going to highlight 10 signs, if not more, that your subconscious is running the show. And not just that, I will also give you a peek into how you can take back the wheel and put yourself in your driver's seat instead of your subconscious doing all the dictating. With that, let's jump right in. Welcome to the Inner Golden Hour podcast, where dreams take flight, mind, body, and soul get a serious holistic upgrade, and personal evolution transforms into a shared spiritual adventure. Consider this your dedicated sanctuary for exploration, self-discovery, unfiltered truths, diverse perspectives, and some much-needed heart-to-heart real talk. Hi, I'm your host Kusum. I'm a mindset and manifestation life and business coach. Think of me as that best friend you never knew you needed. The one unafraid to call out your BS, deliver a dose of tough love, and hit you with some truth bombs. This podcast is more than just a series of episodes. It's a transformative experience guiding you to dig into your truths, ditch those old limiting beliefs, and fully embrace the real authentic you. It's an invitation to align your mind, body, heart, and soul, to dream big, to explore what truly lights you up, and to manifest a reality that surpasses your wildest imagination. Envision this space as the magical golden hour when everything radiates with a breathtaking glow, revealing the depths of your inner world. Now, come along and immerse yourself in a perpetual flow of inspiration, insights, and massive transformation across all areas of your life. Let's explore the extraordinary, one enlightening episode at a time. So, you are smart, you're intentional, you have read the books, you've listened to the podcasts, you've even done the vision boards, and maybe even journaled your heart out, and still you keep repeating the same damn patterns. And you even know what you want, but somehow your choices, your energy, your default reactions, they all keep pulling you in a completely different direction every darn time. In this episode, I am walking you through 10 signs that your subconscious is quietly running the show and how to finally take back the wheel. And here's the thing, you're doing all the things and still feel stuck in cycles that don't feel good. And what I also notice is that a lot of people perhaps are even waking up to the reality and they've even got this awareness. But no matter how many to do lists or mindset hacks they try, the inner shift still isn't happening. Why do you think that is? And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is you start wondering maybe if you are the problem. And as we are on the topic of subconscious, you're not even consciously thinking that you're the problem. Your subconscious, yeah, this is so meta, right? Your subconscious is the one that ultimately dictates everything coming from the place of you taking on this narrative of you being the problem. But you are not the problem. It's your subconscious programming that very well is the problem as well as is the reason for most, if not all, of your problems. And just to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes into my own journey along these lines, I didn't always believe in the subconscious. Heck, I didn't even know what subconscious was because nobody is teaching you the difference between the conscious and the subconscious and how your subconscious is the one ultimately dictating your whole entire life until I learned better a few years ago. So I didn't always believe in the subconscious. I used to think if I could just learn enough, plan enough, work hard enough, because that's what we've all been taught all our lives, I could outsmart all my problems and I would be able to achieve the level of success that I always wanted. But no matter how much I did, the burnout, the anxiety, the guilt, they all kept coming back. And it wasn't until I really started to dig deep and understand the subconscious that I realized that I was living out someone else's beliefs. I was showing up like a high functioning woman. Like, I have the drive. I am this A type personality. I'm ambitious. I'm driven, all of that. But with the energetic core of a scared little girl, just trying to be good, just trying to be enough, and just trying to be worthy of it all. Because we are taught that logic is what leads the way. That if you want to change your life, you just need to decide and you just need to think positive. But what I found out, and here's the truth to that, is that your subconscious is making up to 95% of your daily decisions. So if your subconscious is not on board with your goals, you will sabotage, you will shrink, you will stall, or stay stuck every single time. Let me quickly walk you all through 10 signs that give you a peek into how your subconscious is running the show behind the scenes for you all. And let me tell you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So pay close attention as we go through this list. Number one, you say, I know what to do, but you still don't do it. Because I already said you are smart, you are intelligent, you have the drive, you are quote unquote successful, right? And you have taken on this narrative that I know what to do. But let me ask you this question. Do you do it though? There's a difference between knowing what to do and doing what you want to do. And people think that this is procrastination. While that might be true to a certain degree, what's actually happening is that's your inner resistance. Procrastination and inner resistance are not entirely the same. And here's where that subconscious fear is dictating your course of life. That fear is louder than your conscious desire. So, this is what it might look like for you. You're constantly planning, but you're rarely ever executing. You're obsessively learning, but avoiding taking action at all costs. You are constantly rewriting your to do list instead of finishing what you already have on your to do list. And here's what might actually be happening, because there's a subconscious payoff in not doing the damn thing. Because maybe doing it would mean being visible, putting yourself out there, taking up space, risking failure. And your subconscious is saying to you, but we know this is safe, but that isn't. So we don't want to do that. Let's just stay here. So if you really want to shift this, start by asking yourself, what could go wrong if I actually followed through? And this is one of the questions that I always bring my clients back to. So let's say you take this action or not take this action. What is the worst that you think can happen? Let's start listing them all out on a piece of paper and let's rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. What is the worst that can happen? And what is a plan of action that you can put in place should the worst thing does come true? How are you going to plan for that? So, meeting that fear with safety, not shame. Number two, you have created the life you thought you wanted, but you're not remotely fulfilled because it still doesn't feel right. And that is because you have followed the blueprint, but that blueprint wasn't yours. That's what default programming is. And that's when the default programming is actually running the show, like I already highlighted. So this might look like you having the marriage, the house, the job, everything is all there, but you feel restless, maybe you feel numb, and maybe even low key resentful of having to do all the things that you are having to do right now in order for you to hold on to everything that you thought you have already accomplished. And you keep wondering, why doesn't it feel better? And here's what's actually happening. You built your life from programmed goals, because that's what I meant when I said you followed somebody else's blueprint, programmed goals, but not embodied desires. Your subconscious believes, like, this is what success looks like. Those are the beliefs that led the way for you, not what your soul actually wanted for you. Because let me ask you, did you ever even pay attention to what your soul or what your higher self was communicating to you? No, because you were drowning in all of the noise around the desires that you were supposed to take on because everybody else was doing that, or you're expected to do things a certain way. So, if you really want to shift this, start by asking, what do I want if no one's actually watching? What would you actually want to be doing in this lifetime? Yes, there's a bills, there's a house, there's a that, there's a this, all of those things that you want to take care of. Yes, let's put all of that aside, at least for the next 5 to 10 minutes. If you really got down to it, like the nitty gritty details of it. So if you really sat down and got honest and real with yourself, what is it that you would say that you really want when no one's watching or no one's clapping, and when you don't care for those claps? So that's your truth. Number three is you feel guilty when you rest or take up space, because somewhere your subconscious learned that value is equal to effort and rest is equal to selfish. So this looks like apologizing for needing a break, feeling lazy when you slow down. This is a big one for most of us, myself included. A long time ago, before I learned the reality that if I slow down, it's not lazy. If I slow down, it's just me honoring the cycles in my own life. A lot of my clients too take on this narrative of, oh, if I rest, that means I'm lazy. Oh, I'm lazy. That's why I can't get myself to do this. So you start filling every gap that you have in your day, in your schedule, in your week, in your month, in your year with productivity, or what looks like productivity while it's actually perhaps just staying busy for the sake of it, or over scheduling yourself because that's what everybody else is doing. With, let's say, even worst case scenario is distractions. You are filling your day, your weeks, your months, your years with nothing but distractions, because I call it distractions not because they are quote unquote distractions, but because they are keeping you away from the very things that you actually want to have in your own life, create in your own life. That is coming from your soul identity, not from somebody else's expectations. So you were likely raised to associate worth with output. That's what's happening. So rest feels like a threat to your identity. And subconsciously, you're equating rest with being unlovable, unuseful, and unsafe. And you can slowly but surely start shifting this by reprogramming your narrative, by even acknowledging to yourself that I'm allowed to receive, I am allowed to rest, and I'm still valuable when I am still. Okay? Number four, you replay every damn conversation, afraid that you are going to upset someone. And this is what people pleasing looks like. It's rooted deep in your nervous system's survival mechanism. Keeping others happy is equal to you staying safe. And this is what it looks like. It is anxiety after you set a boundary. It is over analyzing your tone, your words, your body language, and the whole entire conversation. And this comes from your need to be liked. And why is that? Where is that need coming from? We want to be liked because that makes me feel safe. And that is what our human tendency is. And what's actually happening here is that your subconscious is looping to protect you from dun, 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 rejection. Because somewhere your nervous system learned that love is equal to harmony, even if it is at your own expense. Again, if you want to start shifting this, start by affirming to yourself that it's safe for someone to misunderstand me. What's the big deal? It's not a you problem, but it's a them problem, because you cannot expect everybody else to get you 100% when you have not made an actual effort to get you 100%. So, how is that even fair? Because self-abandonment shouldn't be the cost of connection. So tell yourself that it's absolutely safe for someone to misunderstand me, and I will be absolutely okay even if they did misunderstand me. Okay. Number 5, you keep manifesting almost. Have you ever noticed that the opportunities show up, but they quickly fall through? You feel like you're getting so close to success, then you sabotage it. And that's your subconscious alignment blocking what you say you want, or rather, misalignment, like I see it. And this looks like those opportunities that I was talking about, they fizzle out. Clients who might be ghosting you, or even friends or opportunities that came your way through acquaintances who suddenly ghost you, and you're getting close to what you want, and then you're suddenly shrinking. And like I said, you are self-sabotaging. And what might actually be happening here is that your subconscious has an upper limit, a success ceiling, as I like to call it. It lets you get close enough so that you can stay hopeful, but not far enough to feel unsafe. Because deep down, you still don't believe you're allowed to fully receive or be successful, or all of the other dozen different things that you could insert there, because deep down, you still don't fully believe. And that's the underlying root there. So I invite you to start by asking yourself, what part of me doesn't feel worthy of having it all? I know this is a big one, because we want to fight that. No, I feel worthy. I don't have this feeling of being unworthy, but dig deeper. All of the ways in which you show up will actually highlight for you, if you really got to the root of it. We don't believe that we are worthy of having it all. So bring awareness to those aspects, then start to parent that part of yourself, of your beliefs, of all of the things that you've taken on. Start parenting that part with love. Number 6, you overthink everything. Every darn decision you make, you analyze and overanalyze, because overthinking is your superpower. And that is happening because your subconscious hates, big, bold, red letters, hates uncertainty. So it's going to stall, it's going to loop. Seeking control through thinking is what it knows how to do best. So if you are one of those who gets stuck in that place of analysis paralysis. This is what it looks like to you. You're spinning in the pros and the cons. You're asking 10 different people for input, if not 100, and you're delaying until the opportunity passes. And then the worst part, and this is also what I see in many of my clients, because their ego and the subconscious is so loud that if it is meant to be, it will happen. No shit. It ain't gonna happen until you move your ass off the couch and you actually consciously take action, because divine timing is only going to work in your favor if you do the damn work. I can't just sit there on the couch and wait for divine timing. And if it's meant to be all the BS stories that people want to take on because that's safer, hiding behind that spirituality, it's not going to work like that. You've got to consciously make an effort to see where you are stalling instead of taking action. So, your subconscious is trying to avoid blame, mistakes, or vulnerability. All of the things, again, that I see come up in my clients over and over and over again. It's keeping you in thought loops because action feels dangerous, especially if you were punished for making wrong choices as a child, right? That's important. And you've got to remind yourself there is no perfect decision, there's just aligned ones. What's the worst that can happen if you make an incorrect choice? What is going to happen? You get to pick, you get to implement, you get to learn, and you get to move. And that's all. That's the worst that can happen. You're yet learning. The way I see it, the price or the costly mistake is one that you don't even make. Let that land. Yeah, that is the costliest mistake that you could ever be making. Staying in action. Number 7, you default to fixing, doing, or helping even when you're exhausted, because your identity is wired to being the one who solves everything, who is there for everybody, even when it costs you your own peace. And this looks like you jumping in to rescue everybody. You saying yes even when you are burning out. Feeling needed is something that you equate to feeling worthy. Because remember, I mentioned earlier that there is this deep rooted insecurity that we feel that we are not worthy. So we are constantly trying to prove ourselves how we are worthy by doing the wrong things. It is a catch-22 because you've been programmed to equate your value with your usefulness. Your subconscious believes your place in relationships is to give more than you receive. Again, external applause, external validation, external appreciation. So, if you really want to shift this, start by repeating to yourself every single day, and many times if possible, I am loved to receive and I am valuable even when I'm not solving everything for everyone. As simple as that. Number 8, you avoid stillness because it feels itchy, wrong, or pointless. Because it's unsafe ultimately. All of that comes down to that one single thing, not feeling safe. Because stillness lets the deeper feelings come to surface. So if your subconscious is protecting you from all of the past pains, it will make you avoid the pause at all costs. And this is what it looks like. I'm sure you all relate to it. You're scrolling the second you sit down. You're filling every gap with noise, like I mentioned earlier, and restlessness when things are quiet. And what is actually happening is that stillness creates space for the subconscious to come to surface, and it's holding things you've been avoiding, like grief, fear, unmet needs, and a whole list of things that we can keep talking about all day today. But you get the point. And your system, your body, learned to stay busy, to stay safe, because you equate busy means safe. Busy means I'm useful. Busy means I'm worthy. Busy means that I'm doing something towards being quote unquote successful. So, if you want to start stripping this away, start with micro pauses, because I know if I tell you to go sit down and meditate for 10 minutes when you've never given yourself 10 seconds to sit still, you're not going to be able to do that. And that's not how I coach my clients. We start small. We start with where you are. I meet you where you are, and we go from there. Never be scared to think that, oh, if I start talking to her, she has a 2-hour morning routine and that's what she's going to get me started on. No, I don't. I meet you where you are. I didn't start off with a 2-hour morning routine, and I don't tell any of my clients to do that. It's just something that I enjoy doing. So I do it. But for you, maybe it's just a 5-minute practice that's going to make the most amount of difference. So we uncover that. But today, start with micro pauses. 60 seconds. Is that too much to ask for? Just 60 seconds. Breathe. Just breathe. Just get present with your breath. That's all. And start familiarizing stillness. Let it become familiar instead of it being foreign. Number 9, you crave control even when it's draining you. And this was a hard pill to swallow for me when I learned this several years ago, that control is just a trauma response because it makes us feel powerful. But when it's actually fear in a mask. And this is what it looks like: micromanaging everyone's schedules. Ding, ding, ding. I know all the bells are going off right now. You're rewriting the plan 10 times, if not 100. I know the types because I've been there myself. And feeling like if you don't do it, it won't get done. Yup. Guilty as charged. Because control gives your subconscious a false sense of safety. Remember, I said your subconscious, the purpose of your subconscious is to make sure that you are safe, even if it's just a false sense of safety. And if life was chaotic when you were growing up, or if success always came with pressure, control feels like that armor that is going to protect you. So, if you want to start shifting this, start by practicing surrendering in safe ways. And this can look as simple as letting somebody else choose dinner, a place where you want to go dine. Have somebody else make that decision. And you could even skip that perfectly scheduled weekend and remind yourself ease doesn't mean failure. All right, coming up on number 10, you tell yourself, I should be grateful, instead of actually admitting you are unhappy. I know this is a hard pill to swallow, especially for those of us high achieving, ambitious, successful, working moms, because our entire identity is wrapped around that I have everything that I want, so I should be grateful. How dare I even say that I am unhappy? But that's what's happening. As I talk to my clients, no matter how much money they have, no matter what position they hold in their careers right now, no matter how happy their home looks like right now, outwardly, on the inside, they are miserable. And this is what's happening because your subconscious doesn't want to rock the boat because it's easier to shrink than to disrupt the system that you think is actually working, even if that very system is slowly killing your joy. And this is what it looks like. You're silencing your deeper desires because you have it so good. I mean, so good, right? Other people would kill to have the life that you have right now, but here you are. How dare you acknowledge to yourself that you are unhappy and you're miserable? And you feel guilty for wanting more. And you minimize your dissatisfaction because others have it worse. So, what's actually happening here is that your subconscious has tied safety to compliance, and wanting more feels threatening to it. Again, like I said, rocking a boat. So, it convinces you to settle in the name of gratitude. But here's what I want to tell you, that gratitude and desire can coexist at all times. And it's absolutely okay for you to be grateful for everything that you already have and still want more. Not coming from a place of being materialistic, because that's not the goal. The goal is not the destination. The destination is really the journey, the process in which you get to become who you are meant to become. So, try this reframe next time you are feeling guilty for wanting more. I am grateful and I'm allowed to want what I want and want some more. As simple as that. So, if you see yourself in any of these 10 patterns, pause, make a note of it. Don't shame it. Don't overthink it, but just see it for what it is, because step 1 is becoming aware, and awareness is power. And then you acknowledge it, you name it, because then you loosen its grip over you and over your life. And when you bring the subconscious into the light, because subconscious is hiding underneath all of the things that you see on the outside, you get a chance to rewrite it. And this is where real manifestation begins. It doesn't begin with a script. It doesn't come with forced positivity, let me tell you. Yep, unpopular opinion. But it begins with alignment between what you desire and what you subconsciously believe is possible. So if there's just one thing you take away from this episode, let it be that unless you get your conscious and your subconscious to speak the same damn language, you're always going to be out of alignment, and you're going to try to create your life coming from that place of deep misalignment versus being aligned with what you think, what you want, what you say, and what you do. So, that's in a sense bringing your conscious and subconscious to speak the same language. And more importantly, be in agreement with each other. So, if you're ready to stop manifesting from your old programming and start creating from your truth, I want to invite you to my upcoming free masterclass, 3 science-backed shifts to thrive in motherhood, career, and life without the constant hustle, guilt, sacrifice, and or burnout, where I will be walking you through how to actually rewire the patterns running your life and shift your energy so it works for you and not against you. Then stay tuned on this podcast because I will be sharing more details about that. And if you're catching this episode much after the masterclass, then I will leave the link in the show notes. So stay tuned there as well. Because your subconscious has been steering long enough, and it's time that you take the wheel. This time, consciously. On that note, it's not about doing more, it's about stopping the bullshit. All right, so I hope to see you all on the masterclass. Until then, keep uncovering all of those subconscious patterns and keep rewiring them one after another. Thank you for joining me on another episode of this podcast. I appreciate your time, your presence, your commitment, and your willingness to embark on this journey of self-discovery, transformation, and manifestation. If anything you heard today resonated with you, sparked new insights, or brought about aha moments, I'd love to hear all about them. So please share your thoughts by tagging me on social media at Passion Purpose Passport and follow me there for more inspiring content and connection. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and show your support by liking, reviewing, and sharing this podcast. The more good we share with the world, the more the universe unfolds its magic for us. It's not just good karma, it's the universal law, aka Manifestation 101. By the way, you will receive my free manifestation meditation as a token of gratitude for sharing your reviews on iTunes. Take a screenshot before submitting and send it to my team at manifest@passionpurposepassport.com. On that note, align your mind, body, heart, and soul with your deepest desires for limitless possibilities. Remember, every step you take, every action you choose, ripples through the universe, shaping the reality you wish to experience. Until next time, keep basking in the brilliance of your inner golden hour and keep manifesting miracles.